Okay, on to the next Skip the Line reaction, man. And this is Lowkey featuring Lupe Fiasco, M1. I didn't even know he did something with Lupe Fiasco. M1, Dead Prez I know, and Black the Ripper. Obama Nation Part 2, man. Okay, this is going to be one of those political ones again. The ones that people love so much. Let's rock and roll, man. This is a Skip the Line reaction from Frank Warner. I think this is the third in the series. I think there's 3 or 4 if I'm not mistaken. But let's see what we got.
That's up.
That's his real name, Lowkey.
Lowkey is not his real name, surprisingly enough. It's an important line there. I'm all about peace and love.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're calling him a terrorist.
Okay, one nation in the world has over 1,000 military bases. Can you guess who? It's. Let me give you a hint.
Qatar?
It is not Luxembourg.
I don't think they have over 1,000. I think they're actually under 1,000. I think they got like 750, if I'm not mistaken. Last I checked.
It's not just Muslims that oppose your imperialism. He's going to tell you who it is.
So that's neither here nor there.
Lumumba was democracy. Mossadegh, Allende. There you go. Okay, so this is the rapper. All right.
I'm not sure if they're making fun of
Bust
them.
a beat for me, right?
All right, sure.
I don't want no Obama nation. I'm not gonna vote for your inauguration. 'Cause I don't need no Obama nation. I'm not gonna.
Limbo is a racist, Glenn Beck is a racist. Gaza Strip was getting bombed, Obama didn't say shit. After you divorce yourself from the right-wing propaganda campaign, it's all simple and plain. America stands to gain. Your president.
After you divorced yourself from the right-wing propaganda, I don't think it's just right-wing propaganda. This is the crazy thing, is that this is, people like to place people in like boxes and like to say, okay, it's red versus blue, right versus left, and whatever else. The system, the American system, with regards to the military complex, there's no red and blue there at the end of the day, right? I don't actually care what president is in power over there. I don't care if it's Obama. I don't care if it's a Republican or Democratic president. It doesn't matter, right? The system is designed to do what they do abroad. The system is designed to have that foreign policy. They've got no say. You must be joking with me. If you actually think that they've got a say, you actually think that all of these wars are because of like evil versus good, right? There's an element of that, but a very small element of that, right? That they really do play on, right? To make it as if this Hollywood notion of evil versus good bad guys versus bad guys. That's just the propaganda that they sell you, right? At the end of the day. So over here where he says like this right wing stuff, okay, where it's very easy to say that, like the specifically the right wing, the Republicans are for war. So are the Democrats, man. Obama was a Democrat. At the end of the day, this is all designed, this whole system's designed that way. And this is why this two-party system's actually failing in the United States. At the end of the day, the two-party system's purely there, right, to create this divisional side. It's supposed to be there for checks and balances, but it's not. It's there. It's currently there just to create this division between people at the end of the day and to play one side up against the other. It would be great if a third party would actually arise in the United States to sort of dilute some of that power to a certain degree and to offer other policies that are better for the people, other foreign policies, other immigration policies, other than the status quo that you've had from America again and again and again and again, that only serves the wealthy, only serves the rich, only serves the elites. You know what I mean? And then again, like I say, this is not just a right-wing thing, man. This whole right-wing, left-wing thing is all bullshit. That's propaganda that they push you, right? That's this divide and conquer bullshit. They want you to fight because as long as you're fighting, you're not looking up at them. They're all crap, right? Left and right have got the same ideology for war, right? War is a bipartisan issue in America. It's not a partisan issue in America. They both parties love war because both parties benefit from it, right? That is straight up, right? That war is not a left and right thing. They've just got different labels when they're dropping the bombs.
Gaza Strip was getting bombed, Obama didn't say shit. After you divorce yourself from the right-wing propaganda campaign, it's all simple and plain. America stands the game. Your president got an African name. Now who you gon' blame when they drop the bombs out of them planes using depleted uranium? Babies looking like two-headed aliens.
So that over there where it says, no, now your president has got an African name, now who you gonna blame, essentially. So it's almost like to say that like who you gonna blame now, because people always like tend to put the blame on someone, but now even an African president is doing that. But it's again, right, the idea over here is that they're putting a front man. Think of like the US presidents as the face of a company. Like US presidents are mascots. That's all they are. They're mascots. They go out there and they say what they have to say. Here is the teleprompter. They don't run America. They don't run America, right? The people that run America are the corporate elites, are a very specific cabal of people that run America. And they tell you, they sit these presidents down and they say, we gave you X amount of money. Here are the rules. And this is what you're going to do. And this is what your foreign policy is. And this is what we need in terms of resources from around the world. And this is what we need to destabilize to keep this hegemony going. Right? Don't know why I couldn't say that word. Right? This is what they do at the end of the day. These are puppets. Stop focusing on the surface level shit. The shit that they're putting out there is all facade. Right? There are way more powerful people that are worth way more money that run all of this shit.
Bombs out of them planes using depleted uranium. Babies looking like two-headed aliens. Follow the money trail that leads to the criminal. Ain't nothing subliminal to it. That's how they do it. See the game they running. Give a fuck if he's cunning, articulate, and handsome. Afghanistan held for ransom by the hand of this black man. Neo-colonial puppet. White power with a black face. He said, fuck it, I'll do it. A master of disguise, expert at telling lies. Then they gave him a Nobel Peace Prize. Should've known he was trained in Chicago.
Because it's all a show. Again, it's all a show, right? That is the whole thing about American politics. It's all a show. It's what happens behind the scenes that matters, right? It's all a show. It's actually all just production. That's all it is. This is Hollywood production, and it's become more so even in today's day and age, right? They're touting these presidents now as celebrities. Right? You vote for a president now because you like his character. Do you know what I mean? Because he seems like the cool guy. Like Joe Biden seems like that, old grandpa who's compassionate and he's not gonna harm anybody and that kind of thing. He seems just like a nice old Joe. At the end of the day, Obama was an intellect. He was an intellectual, well-spoken, articulate man. He really was, right? This is what they sell you, right? They very much try to attach their image to the public conscious. You know what I mean? These presidents of celebrities, they want you to lionize these people. They want you to lionize these people because you want to, if you like the actual character, you forget about the policy. You forget about all the policies that have failed, that have made things worse for people in America and people abroad at the end of the day. So, put the mascot out there. Keep you distracted, keep you entertained.
Puppet, white power with a black face. He said, fuck it, I'll do it. A master of disguise, expert at telling lies. Then they gave him a Nobel Peace Prize. Should've known he was trained in Chicago. Word to Chairman Fred and Mark.
If you're going to talk about experts in telling lies, I mean, if we are now deluded enough to think that any politician on this earth has ever told the truth, then, you know what I mean? Then, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I can't help you. It's like, oh my God, he lied. Which politician doesn't lie? It comes like both lying and being a politician is synonymous. They pair up. That's rule one of becoming a politician, is learning how to lie. That's rule one of being a politician. All of them lie. All of them are talking bullshit. All of them are for their own interests. The fact that people is like, oh no, and they're trying to defend, but Joe Biden is doing this, and Joe Biden is this, and Trump is that, and Trump is that. They're all fucking lying. They all have their own agendas at the end of the day. Right? Vote on policy. Stop voting on character. Vote on policy. Does this policy work for you? Does this policy work for you at your kitchen table? Are you able to put more food on your table? Are you able to save more money? Right? Do you feel safer? Do you feel more secure? Do you feel like someone's not going to blow the fucking world up in the next week or two? That's what you vote on. You vote on policy. But they don't want you to vote on policy. They want you to vote on who's more charismatic and who's cool and that kind of thing, and who's more brash. They don't want you looking at policies because they've got no policies that actually benefit you. None. Absolutely nothing.
The blackface, he said, fuck it, I'll do it. A master of disguise, expert at telling lies. Then they gave him a Nobel Peace Prize. Should've known he was trained in Chicago. Word to Chairman Fred and Mark Clark. What they do in the dark will come out in the light like a WikiLeaks site. So I guess Nkrumah was right. Who's ready to fight? Last stage of imperialism, I ain't kidding. In the immortal words of Marvin Gaye, this ain't living.
Gaza Strip was getting bombed, Obama didn't say shit.
OBAMA, you ain't fooling everyone. I see the games you play. You was VIP at the BIC, and we know that's the code name for CIA. The same way your cameras are watching us, we're watching you. Think we're easy to control, you ain't got a clue. Revolution's on the way,
Ooh, I don't know. You think we're easy to control, you ain't got a clue? Are you that confident that you're not controllable? Are you that confident that you're not in lockstep with the system? That you're not where they want you to be? Are you that confident? At the end of the day, you operate within the system. At the end, so yes, you can make tracks and you can make whatever, right? But how much power? I mean, it's got power to like actually push that out to the masses. But how much power does that have to change? If that level of power was good enough, you would have seen the change already. The system is strong, man. The system is powerful. This system is all controlling, all consuming. And you know how you're going to get rid of the system? When it needs to collapse first. And collapsing it is going to take a lot of pain, and it's going to take a lot of struggle, and it's going to take a lot of strife, and it's going to take wars, and it's going to take a hell of a lot to collapse a system like this. It's not that easy, right? The people who have got their hands on the levers of power aren't going to just let this one go. Do you know what I mean? It's going to take a hell of a lot to drop the system. So for as much as we like to say that, oh no, we're not compliant, at a certain point you're going to be. At a certain point you're going to be, because they'll force it to be so, right? And that is where you can eventually change the system. That's where the system eventually collapses, right? Is they push it, where there's this global or there's this nationwide consciousness and this nationwide unhappiness that then collapses the system. It was actually something quite interesting that I actually read in one of the books about Stalin. Stalin actually said, it's amazing, you'd be shocked to find out how much people can tolerate as long as they've got something, right? People can tolerate a hell of a lot of pain as long as they are able to feed themselves. One thing people cannot tolerate is hunger. One thing people cannot tolerate is being able to feed themselves and being able to feed their family. That's intolerable to them. And he actually demonstrated that in one of his meetings with some of his cohorts that he did. This was Stalin. And he asked one of his helpers one of his assistants, says, bring me a chicken. And they brought a chicken to him. And he literally ripped the chicken's feathers straight off its back, like literally ripped it. The chicken was screaming in pain, bleeding and all that kind of thing. And then he put it on the floor, and the chicken was screaming and danced, like going crazy on the floor. And then he just started throwing breadcrumbs, started throwing bits and pieces of breadcrumbs on the thing. And after a while, after the chicken was like screaming or whatever else, it found the breadcrumbs, and wherever Stalin was dropping the breadcrumbs, the chicken was following. This is a person that caused this chicken all of this pain and agony. But the moment he started putting crumbs of bread down, this chicken fell in line and started taking the crumbs of bread because it was hungry, right? And he only had to offer that chicken. He actually he caused an incredible amount of pain. He caused an incredible amount of pain to this chicken, but then started giving it breadcrumbs, and the chicken took the breadcrumbs, right, and almost forgot that the very person that put it through its pain is now giving them the breadcrumbs. And he said people are exactly the same. Exactly the same. As long as they are fed. There was another statement, I think it was from Napoleon, where he says, if you've lost their ears, you best be holding bread, right? As long as you can feed them, they'll take a lot of pain, because a lot of people are not going to go and risk and sacrifice, right, their food and their livelihood, right, for a cause, unless that cause causes them to not be able to eat. They'd be like, okay, we'd rather stay silent. Oh, we don't want to rattle anything. You know what I mean? I at least can eat, and I can feed my family. So even if you see these great atrocities happening out there, you keep quiet, very much like how it was in the Holocaust. Lots of people kept quiet because they were too scared to either suffer the same fate or to not be able to feed their families. All right? So it's amazing how much people can take. Let's go.
A clue, revolution's on the way. Let's see what you're gonna do. You're gonna send the troops, you're gonna drop the nukes. See, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. He's sitting in the White House, so who cares if he's black? And why is there soldiers still out there in Iraq? Natural resources ain't yours, it's theirs, give it back. You're just another puppet, but I'm not surprised. Look at Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice. They didn't change shit. House niggas fresh off the slave ship. You all burn in hell, even Michelle, abomination.
Gaza Strip was getting bombed, Obama didn't say shit.
Was the bigger threat from Osama or from Obama? Military bases from Chagos to Okinawa. I say things that other rappers won't say, cause my mind never closed like Guantanamo Bay. Hope you didn't build a statue or tattoo your arm, cause the drones are still flying over Pashtunistan. Did he defend the war? No. He extended more, even had the time to attempt a coup in Ecuador. Morales and Chavez, the states are on the hunt for ya. Military now stationed on bases in Colombia. Take a trip to the past.
The crazy thing about all of this is that you're going to get this from any empire. Like, it doesn't matter what empire it is. This is how it has always been in history, right? The bigger empires that wants to control the world, right, wants to control the resources, have been devastating, right? They've devastated people. They've devastated human civilizations. These are different cultures, different creeds, different countries, different people have done this. It doesn't from all different walks of life have done this to people, right? Have done the most heinous things to people, right? It's not just. I mean, African tribes have done some terrible things to other African tribes. Indian tribes or Native American tribes in America have done some heinous things to other Native American tribes, and all for conquest and land and things like that. It's not like, you know, the idea that this is only a Western thing, right? It's just that it's a Western thing more in the modern day, right? And where they've sort of hijacked economies, and it's this economic warfare, and yes, it's this destabilizing of regions and things like that. But if it's not America doing it, somebody else is going to do it, right? Because that is how it's going to be. This idea that, okay, well, if we get rid of America, right, and we get rid of their greed and their corruption, then the world will be good. Like, no one else is going to do this, is a completely incorrect notion, right? There will be a power that will rise up and will want to conquer and will want to have its say and want to impart its will on the world, right? And will want to control resources and things like that. If it's not America, it's going to be China. If it's not China, it'll be Russia. If it's not Russia, it'll be, let's say, the Europe at large. It doesn't matter. Someone is going to do that. It's not just, you know, it's like, this is humanity. This is how people are. People get greedy, and people get they get to the point of being completely inhumane in pursuit of power, and that is something that's That happens. And then when you get caught up in that system, it doesn't matter who is the face of that system. That is just how that system operates. Do you know what I mean? So no, I don't disagree with what they are saying over here. And yes, there's a lot that America has done wrong, right? But superpowers and empires, that's what they do. That is how they operate, right? The fact that people think that, we can get to a utopia where everyone gets along is completely and utterly nonsense. It's never happened. It's never happened in time, like in time immemorial. It's never happened, and it's not going to happen. This is how humanity works. This is how people are, right? People have their own interests, their own ideology, and specifically when you've got these diversities of people who have different ideas, different ways of wanting to be governed, different things. That's what happens. So, so it's cool. I mean, we can focus our sort of disdain on America right now because they are the big superpower at the end of the day. And I will still say that America is not all terrible. I mean, the people are great. The innovation that comes out of it is great. There's good things about America, but that military complex, which is very much attached to the political system, right? I would say yes. So the political system, not America as an umbrella term, like all of its people and all those people are terrible and stuff like that. So the political system in America, yes, needs much change. Make no mistake. At the end of the day, but if we had to look at certain things that America has done around the world, there has been some positives, right? You're not ever going to get a superpower, ever. You're never going to get a superpower or an empire or a hegemony that is not going to be devastating to someone, because they're always going to operate under their own interests, always, right? They're always going to operate under their own interests. So I agree. I always agree with like Lowkey's tracks with regards to like the truth and reality in terms of how America has involved itself in places that it hasn't needed to involve themselves, and they've devastated countries for no reason. 100%, I'll always agree with that. But I'm also not blind to the fact that any superpower with that level of influence would do the exact same thing. I genuinely believe that that's just how humanity is. That's just how human beings are.
States are on the hunt for ya. Military now stationed on bases in Colombia. Take a trip to the past and tell them I was right. Ask Ali Abu Nima and Jeremiah Wright. Drones over Pakistan, Yemen and Libya. Is Obama the bomber getting ready for Syria? First black president, the masses were hungry, but the same president just bombed an African country like
I mean, they're focusing a lot of their ire on on Obama, and I understand why. It's because he was the first black president, and you thought you would get real change from him. But it's like, so they're basically trying to say like this standout person that you thought would bring real change didn't bring real change, and I can't possibly imagine that these guys were surprised by that. I'm like, these guys are intelligent guys, the intelligent spitters. These guys are they research history and they do things in like a Carla and Lowkey and stuff like that. They go out and they see what's happening, right? You can't possibly tell me that you didn't know that the system would be the same because it's the system, right? And I think in part that is what he's trying to say over here, and that's why they're actually focusing on Obama, because he's the one that stands out over here. He was the black president that should have stood out amongst all the other white presidents. Right, but you just got more of the same with Obama, right? But that's just because of the system. That's just because America is a military-industrial complex. That is what it is, and that it's run by corporate interests. It's run by money. It's run by donors. It's run by special interests. Those are the people that run America, not these presidents. I would actually say maybe don't make songs about the American presidents because they're pointless. Right? And rather make songs about companies like BlackRock and companies like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. Those kind of companies, right? Specifically BlackRock, right? So, yeah, I mean, again, like I say, these guys, these American presidents are puppets, man. They've got no say in America.
Limo is a racist, Glenn Beck is a racist. Gaza Strip was getting bombed, Obama didn't say shit.
The Jonas brothers are here. They're out there somewhere. Sasha and Malia are huge fans. But boys don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
No, I think everyone knows. Yeah, man. You know what's crazy though? I found this actually quite interesting. The very guy that they actually thought that would be the guy that was out of the actual system, the guy that was not part of the status quo, which was a Donald Trump. And I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump for many reasons. Like I said, I don't lionize presidents. I don't follow these people wholeheartedly like the majority of the crowd do, because at the end of the day, they all operate under their own interests. But credit where credit's due, man. For a man that people were saying, oh, he's going to get us into World War III. He's going to be the guy that's going to start these wars. Imagine Trump with the nuclear weapon codes and blah, 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 blah. Happened to be the only president that actually brought a semblance of peace to the world. The only one. The only one. People cannot even refute that. Like, you can't even refute that. President Donald Trump was very anti-America, sticking its nose in everybody else's business. Donald Trump was very nationalistic. He was very America first, right? And even like to the extent that we don't need NATO, right? We are fitting the bill for NATO, and we are paying for all of this. And for why? Because we are the guys that consistently, pick up the bill for NATO's interests and stuff like that. He was anti-war. There was people was like, oh no, he's a Putin. He was a Putin shill, or he was a Putin puppet, right? This is the propaganda that they gave you. He's a Putin shill, he's a Putin puppet, right? Well, at the end of the day, the notion is keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how you operate in this kind of world. Everyone's going to have their own interests. And to a certain degree, if you're going to act like a child and be like, oh, I'm not going to talk to Putin, it's your job to talk to Putin. It's your job to try and de-escalate things for the sake of the world. At the end of the day, right? Not to keep getting like thousands more people killed. Do you know what I mean? That is your job. And Trump was one of those people that wanted to do that. Trump was the person that was okay, we're going to take America out of Iraq. I wouldn't have gone into Iraq firstly, I already said. And he's like, we got to take America out of places like Afghanistan. We got to take America out. He was the only person who was like, we want to take America out of all these places. We want to stop these forever wars. We don't want that. Donald Trump was the only one that was saying that. He was saying that he doesn't want that. Right? Things calmed down with North Korea because of Donald Trump. Right? He did it. Things calmed down because of Donald Trump. At the end of the day. And he's just anti all of these wars. He's anti all of this. And the system, like I told you, is so powerful that is why they are petrified of him coming back into power. Petrified of him coming back into power. They cannot lose the levers of power. They can't, because their profits are at risk. Their profits are at stake. Their investments are at stake. That kind of thing. So, again, I'm not a pro-Trump fan, but the guy who was supposedly supposed to get us into World War III probably kept the world at its safest during his tenure. Whereas right now, the cool, fun Uncle Joe who has, he's not harmful. He's not going to hurt anybody. He's just this cool old grandpa that loves everybody, is getting us closer to nuclear annihilation than anybody else did, right? Purely because him and his administration are refusing to actually do their jobs, right? They're refusing to do their jobs. And why? Because there's a system behind them that is telling them, you are not here to do your job. You are here to make money for us. That's what it is. That's how I feel about it at the end of the day. So, I don't know. There's a lot that I can say about this particular war that's going on at the moment. It really is, but I'm going to spare you. I'll catch you in the next one. Please stay safe, please stay healthy. Peace.